Hi, hello, and welcome to this week's very belated pet pairing video. I had all the best intentions to film my video as per usual on Wednesdays when I do film my pet pairing videos. That is the only video that I sort of have a regimented schedule for, because Wednesdays are usually a bit more like chill days. I don't really have meetings on Wednesdays, so I can be a little bit later, I can take it easier in the morning. So Wednesday is usually my pet pairing filming day. I'm going to start applying my makeup, by the way, taking the Inglot eyeshadow primer as usual. But this week was completely wild, you guys. I haven't really had the opportunity to film a video in over a week now. Now, in other good news, my leg, my knee have improved so significantly that I think I'm about 95% recovered by now. Like this past week, every day felt like a huge leap forward. In contrast to last week, when I really felt like there was really no improvement whatsoever, and I was a little afraid that I had caused more damage than I anticipated. Just in case you're wondering what I'm talking about, a couple of weeks ago I did a little figure skating stunt with my bike. I slipped on ice and I overextended my knee, and the first 2 weeks were basically rather bad. I could like barely walk, I was in a lot of pain if I did, and it was just taking such a long time for me to recover that last week I was getting pretty desperate, and I even called the GP to ask if I should come in for them to actually see my leg, but they reassured me that an injury like this takes at least 3 to 4 weeks, and given how much of an improvement I've made now, and it will only be 3 weeks coming Tuesday, it is Saturday today, by the way. I'm filming it on Saturday. I think it will go up today, so you will see it very soon. But anyway, within 3 weeks I really have made almost a full recovery, which is awesome. I'm so happy about that. I'm going to put a little bit of the Auric Glow Lust underneath my eyes because, like I said, it was a really crazy week, and I think my under eye area is not looking at its best. So I'm going to dab a little bit of the Glow Lust by Auric, which I've said before many times I use more as an actual skincare than really concealer or illuminator. I mean, I do like the illuminating qualities, I do like that it has like the tiniest bit of coverage to it, but it really is the level of hydration that this product provides underneath my eyes that I really love about it. So, like I said, crazy week. I had so much work to do, and I want to say about, yeah, it was 2 weeks ago, I was contacted by my colleagues who organize the department-wide meeting. I'm going to take the MAC Waterweight Foundation, by the way. I keep giving this foundation a chance to grow on me, but as of late we haven't really been getting along. And I have a very low key today because, like I said, it's Saturday. We're going to go to the supermarket later, and that will be the extent of my activities for the day. So I figured it is a good day to use it, because one thing you should know about me, I hate waste. So even if I absolutely dislike a product, if I can somewhat make it work for me, I will try to use most of it up. And if I really hate it and it's still in a state where I can sell it, I will sell it or pass it along. But this specific foundation, yes, foundation are just so specific with their color and consistency that I don't know that I can give it away very easily. So I would rather just try to use it up, because it's actually a really good foundation. I just don't know why my skin is refusing to cooperate lately with this foundation. But like right now it's going on really well. I like that. So maybe it's a good day for the MAC Studio Waterweight Foundation. By the way, mine is in the shade NC25. So about 2 weeks ago, right after the accident actually, my colleagues who organized a department-wide meeting contacted me and asked if I would be willing to take a slot to present my work 2 weeks from that point. So that was yesterday. And usually when they organize this meeting, you get the heads up quite much in advance, because they plan every half a year, and usually the slot for the next half a year is announced several months before the meeting actually starts. But I've noticed that the people who organize the meetings for the last couple of months, maybe a year, have been a little bit less, you know, on top of it as previous, you know, people who organize it, because it's like a little estafette. They don't let the same person organize this meeting forever and ever, because it's a lot of work to organize a meeting like that. So the new people who are organizing it are not really quite on top of it, so they were very lately with the schedule. I want to say that the department still doesn't have the official schedule. I do, because I was on it, but the department actually still doesn't have the schedule, and people keep asking me if I know who's presenting in the coming months. Anyway, so they asked me to present at a very short notice, knowing that I may fully say no, because it's a very big meeting. It's the whole department, and our department has grown quite significantly in the last couple of years. So we're talking about presenting for, like, I don't know, between the on-site people and the people online, anywhere from 100 to 150 people. And it's a meeting that you have to talk for about 30 minutes. It may seem easy to fill 30 minutes, but it's actually not, especially if you don't have that much to show. So they asked me, and they used flattery in order to get their way. They were like, oh yeah, someone you know who has your amount of experience and is good at giving presentations, or whatever they said, I don't know, will probably not have a very hard time putting a presentation on such short notice. And the problem with asking someone to do this meeting on such short notice is that usually how it works in my line of work, if you do experimental work, there are a lot of things that are planned out ahead. So you may have big experiments or like a lot of lab work that you can't postpone. So having to prepare this on the side can be very stressful, which unfortunately was a little bit the case for me. But I said yes because I wanted to be a good sport. I know what a pain in the ass it is to organize smaller scale meetings, because I organize a bunch of meetings for our own group, and I can only imagine what a pain in the ass it is. Oh, I think I totally forgot to tell you that I use my Dior Skin Correct concealer in the shade 1N to conceal under my eyes a little bit. Excuses. Excuses? No, that's in Dutch. Apologies is what I mean to say. I'm going to take the Gucci powder in the shade 000 Matte Natural in order to set the foundation. So basically that was one of the biggest reasons that I didn't really have that much time, because I was already a little bit behind on my lab work due to the accident. And once I went back to the lab, there were just things that I could not, you know, pause. I had to proceed. So between all of the lab work and having to prepare this meeting, because, you know, as experienced as I am and as easy it is for me to prepare a meeting like this, it still takes a significant amount of time to prepare it, okay? It's not just something that I can whip out in a few hours. I'm going to take the Too Faced Laminating Fluff and Hold Brow Wax as usual. So the meeting was yesterday. I presented in the morning, first thing in the morning, which is good because I had a bunch of lab work to do. And it went well. I think everyone was quite happy with it. I was, you know, it was okay. For my own standards, I usually prefer to be more prepared, but there was just no way I could be more prepared. But at the very least, people said that it was easy to follow. And the thing about, you know, the crowd that I present to is that some of them have absolutely no idea. Like, they have no context or no technical context in the things that I do. Some of the things that I do are rather complicated for a lot of my colleagues who are in a completely different line of work. So I made sure to have a lot of introductory and explanatory slides so that people can really follow the story. And I think in that part I for sure succeeded, because a lot of people came after the presentation to say that they really enjoyed it and they were able to follow it, even though it was quite complex for their standards. But anyway, it was also a little bit stressful, because giving presentations is always stressful, no matter how much you tell your brain not to stress out. Like, I know the people that I know mostly the people that I'm presenting to because they're my colleagues. I know all of them are there because they're just genuinely curious what I do. And the room was actually pretty full. There were like around 60 people in the actual room, and I don't exactly know how many people were online, but let's say it was something in the ballpark of 40 to 50 as well. Let's take the Victoria Beckham bronzing powder in the shade 02 in order to bronze the skin a bit, and I'm just going to sort of like mix the two shades together. That's really my go-to when I use this bronzer. So the thing about giving presentations is, like, I'm a researcher. I'm not trained to be on stage. I'm not trained to be an entertainer. And the thing is that it's kind of expected from us to sort of be entertaining, you know, speakers. And really, not everyone has the talent to be an entertaining speaker. We're not really trained to be on stage, and, you know, there is a reason why I'm not on stage, because I would piss my pants, like I would shit my pants if I had to be on stage. I cannot handle that kind of, you know, attention. So as much as I try to get used to the fact that I will have to present a lot, in my line of work in front of a lot of people at different scales, like smaller meetings, mid-scale meetings like the one yesterday, or actual like conference meetings. It still remains a very like stressful experience to have to present. Like the night before, like usually the days before are okay, but the night before I usually can't sleep very well, and I wake up and I'm really nervous. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. But now it's over and I'm so glad. I had the best night's sleep ever last night, so I feel a bit more rested today, which is why I feel energetic and enthusiastic to film. Ooh, let's take this Armani Luminous Silk Blush in the shade 01 that I mentioned a couple of months ago. So I bought this in the summer because Martina couldn't stop talking about the formula of these and also this specific shade. And at the time I had quite a bit of tan going on and I couldn't really appreciate this shade. But now that the tan has subsided and I'm a little bit paler, quite much paler actually, I actually really like this blush. It is a beautiful, like very lightweight blurring type of formula. It lasts really well on the skin, and this specific shade, the shade 01, which is a peachy beige, is just perfect. It is neutral enough to go with everything, but it has a little bit of warmth. If you really like that in your blush, a little bit of that peach note, which is, you know, what I love with my blushes. So I've actually really grown to enjoy this blush. I have to say, in terms of formula, this maybe very much reminds me of the Gucci blushes, but it is a little bit more buildable. I think the Gucci blushes are a bit more pigmented. Like if you dip your brush into those the way I am doing with this blush, you're going to apply way too much. This one is a little bit more buildable in that sense, maybe because of the color and maybe because it's a bit more harder pressed in the pan. But I feel like in the way they look on the skin is actually quite similar. They have the same lightweight smoothing finish on the skin. Really enjoyable blush. For highlighter, I'm going to take my beloved Nude Glow from Dior. You can see the Dior logo is slowly being erased away from the use because I just absolutely love this highlighter. It is such a glorious formula. I've been so impressed by Dior makeup. I think if I had to pick a brand, like overall, that makes really good quality products from like the high-end side of things, I would maybe pick Dior, because I haven't really tried enough of Gucci. I haven't really tried any of their like base makeup products, but with Dior I've tried their foundation, concealer, I have a powder from them, now I have a bronzer and a highlighter, and I have two lipsticks. We're going to use one of them in the end of this video, and everything has been such impressively, well, I don't know why I say impressively, has been such good quality. I mean, for a high-end brand, you wouldn't think that I should be impressed with the quality, but you never know. I'm going to take a sponge and MAC Fix Plus in order to set all the powders on my face. Do you guys have to give presentations in your line of work for a lot of people? And do you have any tips and tricks to fool your body into being calm again? I remember when I was in college and we had classes on neuroscience, I remember one of my teachers saying that if you press on your eyeballs like this, it does something to the parasympathetic nervous system, and it immediately calms down your heart rate and you feel a little bit more calm. So that is one of the few ways that I have found to, like when I get really like nervous right before I have to present, I do a little bit of this, and you have to apply a little bit of pressure, not too much, in order for this to work. But that's not like a long-term solution, you know. I'm searching for something that will be like the night before I go to sleep, I sleep fine, I wake up, I'm not, because when you're not nervous, you are also much better equipped to talk to people. And I just wonder, what is a good way to overcome that kind of unnecessary nervousness? I think a healthy dose of nerves is good. You shouldn't also be like too overly confident and arrogant, but at the same time you should just be calm and, you know, tell your story, because you are the one that knows your story the best. So obviously you can convey it really well to people. If you don't get the anxiety, get the best out of you. That is definitely a trick that I'm still to learn. Okay, let's do eyes. The first thing I'm going to do is take the Bronze Eclipse Quint from this past year's holiday release, and I'm just going to use a nice little fluffy brush such as this one. This is the Jumbo Blender from Sonia G, and I'm going to take this beautiful brown neutral shade and sort of apply that all over my lids and up into my crease as my base slash, you know, transition blending out sort of shade. I have no idea how this look is going to turn out. I tried a little bit on the back of my hand to make a prediction. It looked okay, but I really don't know. So the idea is that we're going to layer one of my liquid eyeshadows from Pat before I apply the powder eyeshadow. One of you, Isa, mentioned that you use these liquid eyeshadows as a base and you apply eyeshadows like powder eyeshadows over top of that, and I was very intrigued by that concept, and I have to say it works really well with my Chanel Eclat de Nuit quad, because I layer the liquid eyeshadow that we're going to use today, so Cosmic Chartreuse, with the sparkly topper from Eclat de Nuit. So I put the Eclat de Nuit topper over top of Cosmic Chartreuse, and that is just chef's kiss. So beautiful. I love it. It's my new favorite look to wear. But I've been wondering if it's going to work with a different type of texture and just a different type of eyeshadow. So that's what we're going to try to achieve today, with no guarantees for success. Lately I've been really into wearing my brighter lipsticks, like a lot of reds in particular, so I've been going for a lot of neutral looks. I'm almost like embarrassed to post my looks on Instagram because I think, oh my god, they all look so brown and beige. People are probably super bored and they have the feeling that they're seeing the same look over and over again, and that's probably true. What can I say? I'm in my beige phase. Like, even with my nails I'm beige. Okay, peachy beige, but you know, still beige. I think this should suffice. Now we're going to take Cosmic Chartreuse. This is one of the liquid eyeshadows from Pat. This is my newest liquid eyeshadow, and I'm going to do what I usually do with these, which is apply them on the back of my hand and then use a brush in order to apply them on my lids. And I try to use like some sort of a flat shader brush. It can be something a little bit thinner, like a shader brush, or it can be something like the Jumbo blender. It really doesn't matter. Just don't use the type of brush that doesn't go well with cream products, because you're going to damage the bristles. And then I will paint on Cosmic Chartreuse very gently onto my lids. And I really like how the brush applies this, because it really like shears it out to basically a little bit of a base color, but mostly just sparkle. Now, to make things a little bit more interesting, I am going to grab the Sith Seduction Quint from the Star Wars release 1 year ago, and I'm going to take this eyeshadow over here. This eyeshadow is very interesting. It's like a taupe that almost has those very same like green tinge to it, but much less pronounced compared to the shade in Eclat de Nuit. But I still think it will make a really interesting combination together with the shade from together with Cosmic Chartreuse. So I'm just going to layer a tiny bit of that over top of Cosmic Chartreuse, and let's see what happens. I actually think that's very pretty. It's like the kind of look that's neutral, but not brown or beige. I think that Chanel quad has really like inspired me to go down the like neutral khaki green looks, and I've been experimenting in all sorts of ways to achieve similar results by combining different types of eyeshadows. I'm going to clean off this brush really well on a microfiber cloth so that I can do just the tiniest bit of blending here through the crease. Okay, for inner corner highlight, I am actually just going to go back into Nude Glow from Dior, because both quints that I have here, one of them doesn't really have an inner corner highlight shade, and the inner corner highlight in Bronze Bliss is just too pink for what I'm going for today. So I want to keep it more on like the champagne gold side, and I'm going to just put Nude Honey from Dior in here. And like I said, because I've been going for like somewhat brighter colors of lipsticks, I've been looking for ways to make my neutral looks a bit more interesting and versatile. So I'm not wearing the same, you know, brown beige look every day, but I'm still wearing a neutral so that I can wear my bright lipsticks. So I'm going to go back now into the Bronze Bliss Quint, and I'm going to take this little smudger here from the Maquillage set from Sonia G, and I'm going to take this dark brown shade, and I want to work that just a little bit here into the lashes to create a bit of definition over there, because I'm missing something a little bit darker in my lash line. And then I'm going to just use the soft bristles of the brush to smoke that out so that it seems to effortlessly blend into the rest of the shades. I'm going to use this very same eyeshadow and push that here on my lower lashes using the smudger from Sonia G. And that will be basically the extent of this look. Super easy breezy. Let's do sparkle moment. I think under artificial lighting this actually looks very beautiful and sparkly. I always have the feeling that Cosmic Chartreuse is just not quite as shiny for me as I would have liked it to be, but like this under artificial lighting, I think the two shades actually look very pretty together. Like I said, for lipstick I'm using one of my new Dior lipsticks. This is the satin formula. This is the shade 760 in Icon, which is an absolutely beautiful shade that I would qualify as a nude red, if that's a thing, because it certainly has some like terracotta red hints to it. But to me there is so much like neutral tones to it that I almost would qualify it as a nude. It is just such a beautiful shade, and I have already worn this lipstick once to work the other day and it felt like nothing on my lips. I basically forgot that I was wearing a lipstick towards the end of the day. I will add, neither this nor the velvet shade that I showed in my video last week are on the most long-lasting side of lipsticks I've ever tried, but they last a decent amount of time. They're so easy to reapply and they just feel so lightweight and pleasant on the lips. There is a hint of like a scent. I do think the scent goes away after a while. It does take a bit for the scent to go away, but I'm just so happy with the formula, the colors, the packaging, that I am now on a bit of a binge to try luxury lipsticks. Do let me know what you thought about this look. I'm not gonna lie, I personally think this is an absolutely glorious look. One of my like new favorite like signature type looks. Khaki green neutral type of look with this beautiful lipstick to go with it. I just love how everything about this look turned out, but I'm hoping that you feel the same way. Let me know in the comment section below. I've really missed talking to you and I hope that you are still around to catch up with me. Thanks so much for watching and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!